What's up, family? For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Marcus, or you can call me Kosher, or King Kosher. And first off, I just want to thank you for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you can find something useful in it. So, this video is going to be labeled or titled Exploration, Deliberation. All right, and we're going to be exploring in this area right here, somewhere out there in that area across the water. Hopefully, I believe it's a trail down there, so we'll see how it goes, but that's the point of it being called an exploration. All right, so as we're kind of making the approach down there towards where that trail is, I just want to kind of give a little background on why I decided to title it that, why I decided to title it Exploration Deliberation. So it's a bit self-explanatory, but it's like exploration kind of implies something that is new or unknown. You haven't been there before, or it's more or less uncharted territory. And right now I'm at Lake Charleston, and I've been around certain places, but I've noticed that there's a big area around here, and there's a lot of places I haven't been. But what I have, in the places that I have been, I've realized that there is a lot of, I could say, inspirations or or just maybe like thoughts and ideas and stuff like that that comes to me, or that I experience just from being in this environment. Different environments gonna produce different thoughts, and this being nature, it does have a lot of, I could say, profound or more natural, and usually natural stuff is profound, more natural kind of things that it produces here, including those thoughts. So basically, I'm just exploring here and deliberating, or expressing some of those ideas or thoughts that I find. A lot of spooky noises and stuff too. You gotta look around. You might get attacked by like I don't know what's out here. So that's another reason why it's an exploration, because not only do you not know what exactly where you're going, you also don't know what you're gonna find while you're going there. I doubt it's anything too dangerous, but such is life. C'est la vie. So another reason I called it an exploration, to kind of, I don't know, kind of like express the idea generally. It's because just to be in any environment, or life itself, at least for us, as far as we can understand it, happens in our mind, right? So not only do those ideas that I discovered happen in my mind, everything happens in my mind, at least on the level that's where I first interact with it. That's where I first touch it. You see stuff, your eyes see light, it bounces back, and then it's processed in your brain. It's in your mind that you actually can recognize the light, and then turn it into an actual idea of something you're seeing, right? So your whole world takes place in your mind, or at least on some level. And so being out here in this this area, it's like it is an exploration, because it is still a part of my mind, but going to somewhere new here, it's a part of my mind that I've never been, so, and in order to, or the idea of wanting to express it, that's where that deliberation comes in. So it is an exploration, and also simultaneously a deliberation. All right, so now we just made it to like a little, I guess you can call it a bridge here, but that hill we were just on is somewhere out that way, and where we were pointing to is on that side. So we can take this bridge across and see where it kind of takes us. But just being over here already, like I've been on this bridge before, but butterfly. Not only is it always something new, being that it's it's outside, it's in nature, it's constantly changing, at least a small level, big level, whatever. It's similar, but it's always different. But the idea of what I'm out here doing now is different. Like, it's one thing to explore, but then to deliberate and want to express those ideas and share them has power in it for me. And so I guess therefore it has power, but it's something that I really appreciate, and I just noticed more how much I do appreciate it when I was back there on that bridge. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. And yeah, it's like it goes. That's another reason I wanted to do this idea of this deliberation too, because it's exploration. I'm exploring these ideas for the first time as well as you are. Obviously I'm saying them so they happen in my mind first, and then you get them. But these are new to me too, and that leaves room for. It was kind of an incline back there, but that leaves room for new ideas to sprout in a lot of different ways, because, or at least to be expressed in a lot of different ways, because it's an unknown factor. I don't know what I'm going to say, so it's at the point where I can say anything, and it can connect to a lot of different things, or it can open up a lot of different doors. Obviously, it can close some too, but that's the point of it, just being in the position of being out here, or being on that bridge, or attempting to deliberate these thoughts. Just from being in that position comes with certain risks. Yeah, I can sit up here and ramble and sound like a fool, but it also comes with certain benefits and certain rewards. I'm hearing some crazy noises. It's nice out here though, but it comes with certain benefits and certain rewards, some of which being the potential for gain. You got the potential for loss, but you have equally the potential for gain just from being in the position. What is this thing? I ain't gonna get too close. I don't know if you can see him. There. That little bitty squirrel there. That little, it's like that little squirrel was just making so much noise, and it was very distracting, only because I didn't know what it was, So in my head, it could have been anything, including something very dangerous or whatever. It was just an unknown factor. So I'm immediately trying to put my attention on it to identify it. But my point of bringing it up is the initial feeling I had when I heard the sound versus the feeling I had when I understood what the sound was, and how then in retrospect ridiculous it was for me to have that initial reaction. I wasn't super scared, but I'm like, hold on, what was that? And turned out it was just one like practically baby squirrel. And that has a lot to do with how we relate to fear. Like with being in a situation where there are unknowns, we do have a reaction to things because we recognize that there are some things that are dangerous. But fear is such a, I could say, elusive concept, because some people say it's not real, it's false evidence appearing real and all this other stuff. But at the same time, there is a real element where fear is realistic, in a sense of it's applicable and it works. You can apply fear and it gives you a result, and usually the people that apply fear are looking for that result, more or less. Sometimes it goes a certain way, but what I'm saying is fear is a real thing because people are genuinely afraid. Like, fear does interact with the people. People believe it. Believe means accept as true. So the minute people believe in fear or accept fear, it becomes real, because they possess it. You know what I'm saying? So it affects them in a very real way. But you know, it's a popular concept, but it's a very legitimate concept that there's a big difference between fear and danger. And I don't know, like, because being a human or a person or whatever, like, I can be aware of the whole ideas about fear and all this stuff and have all these, you know, thoughts and big ideas or whatever about it. But at the same time, when I am introduced in a situation that I perceive as dangerous, I do still have that first knee-jerk reaction of either fear or something very close to it, you know? So it's like, what is that? Because I can logically consider it as something, but the name that I've placed on it is fear. And now those two contradict each other in a way, right? So I'm wondering, is it my logic that's incorrect, or is it maybe my understanding or the definitions of these things that's incorrect, right? And I'm considering that it could be my definition or understanding of that thing that I'm calling fear. I'm calling it fear and I'm giving it that label, but once you give something a label and a title, you put certain characteristics with it, right? So I'm immediately calling it fear, but it is a very natural knee-jerk reaction, and I'm wondering if we don't need a better name for it, you know, in order to make the entire concept of whatever it is more effective for us. Because fear is ineffective. Just being afraid. Look at this leaf just hanging on a spider web. And speaking of, I'll tell you, I might be afraid of spiders, at least when they get too close for comfort. Like if I walk right into a giant spider web, my first thought is, oh man, is it a big old spider on me like that? I don't know if you can see it out there. Like, is it a giant spider on me that was in this web and just crawled in my ear or something? Gonna bite my face? You know? And look at this. Man, this might be the end of the road right here. Oh my God, do you see that? I don't even know I don't know where the spider web begins or ends, how big it is. Fear, right? Now, there is something called courage. And courage is, I forget the exact definition, but it's basically fighting through that fear in a sense, right? So bravery is not being afraid, and courage is being afraid but still going forward with it, right? So that's one thing that can be applied that automatically comes with fear. But I don't like spider webs, man. So I'm gonna have to figure something out, but I'm gonna have to do it in a courageous way. What the heck is this thing like? It must be on the ground. And that's pretty cool, man. That's a good way for them to catch something, because if I was just running, I'd have ran right into that. And he'd bit my face, maybe. Let's see if we can get through here. But it's a spider. It's so small, it will do nothing to me. But because I'm unaware of what will happen if and when this thing touches me or gets on me, it causes this reaction of, and that's why I said fear is not beneficial, because it's a hesitant reaction. It stops you, it locks you up, it prevents motion and all this stuff. But it is useful because sometimes slowing down and stopping ain't so bad. If I would have just been super running fast, I'd have ran right into that. But then it's a question of, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I believe everything goes exactly how it's supposed to. And I can, in retrospect, I can look back and see, for me, it was a good thing that I had that reaction of fear, so that I can slow down and see that spider and then use it as a means to explain something or to explore something within my mind here, out here in these woods or whatever you want to call it, you know. But how can I make that concept of whatever it is most effective? Because as it is, I'm only speak for myself. As me, I'll say 2 months ago, what I understood about the idea of fear itself is it's not really a thing that you benefit from. But my logic says I can benefit from having this, or I can benefit from interacting with this reaction that I have when I face something that is unknown to me, right? So I don't know. Again, it brings me back to the maybe I need to personally redefine something. Maybe I need to redefine what that thing is that I'm calling fear. But then, what should I call it? Like, how should I define it without the reality of that thing? Could it be that it's designed to protect you? Because full disclosure, as soon as I just kind of paused the recording here for a second, I don't know what it was because I just like ducked my head and dipped off, but it was some kind of bug creature, whatever, and that thing it sounded like an airplane was coming in at me, you know, and immediately I had that, like I said, I ducked and I kind of put some space between me and that thing, but so it could be a sense of protecting me from whatever that was, but now because I done ducked and dipped off, I don't know what that thing actually was, so I don't know if it protected me and if it benefited me to be away from that thing, or if it was detrimental, you know? So what does that say about it? I don't know really the answers to these questions. I would say because this is an exploration, but that's another benefit I see in doing these explorations is, you know, anybody who does decide to participate and watch, and, you know, they get these ideas as well. They just from me deliberating and sharing them, they experience these things as well, you know. So then somebody else can answer those questions, you know. Somebody else can, you know, perhaps I would even hope in the comments so I can be a part of it too, but somebody else could perhaps have some kind of you know, realization or whatever just from hearing about something that I just said, and it doesn't even have to be the way I said it or actually what I said, but it could just be something simple as they see something here and that makes them think of something else, and then that produces, you know, some result. It's just cause and effect, and it's, you know, producing different causes to get different effects, you know. But hey, how's it going? But yeah, I just made it all the way over here to, like, hold on one second. So I just made it down to here, and I think this will be where I maybe head back and start to kind of end the exploration, because I found something new. I've discovered something that I had no clue was out here at all. I'm not sure where the place I was. It might be somewhere out that way, but yeah, I never knew this was here, and now because of the exploration, I can come back here anytime I want to sit down and, you know, do whatever I'm gonna do out here. But it's gained now because of, you know, because of being in the position, because of coming out here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and head on back. So, you know, I chose to head back because, well, for two reasons. One, like I said earlier, this is a big old place, so I could just be out here walking for days. Look, here's another trail right here, but that's more of an adventure. But, you know, I could have kept going, and I'm sure just by being in new places, eventually I would have discovered new things. So again, like I was saying, that's the point of this. Like, being in a new position opens up new risks, obvious, like spiders and, you know, airplane bugs, but new rewards too. Like, you find a new place to do whatever you can do over there, or you discover new ideas that you can apply in different places, like ideas about fear and ideas about, you know, whatever is there, whatever is found and collected and then put to use. But, you know, there's so many options. That's another thing, and I was even gonna probably produce some content about this, what I'm about to say, but I can say it now, you know, as well. I had one experience out here where I was kind of more off the trail, more on an adventure type of deal, and it was a moment where I kind of looked up and looked around, and all I saw was, like, you know, the tops of trees or whatever, but I was kind of in like a dip, so they're like hills, and it was just a bunch of different hills around me, and I'm at the bottom looking up, and I don't remember exactly, but I remember having the thought of, man, I could go in any direction, literally 360 degrees. Well, I just came from one direction, so that'll probably take out some of it, but I can go in any one of these directions, and I'm guaranteed to find something maybe new, something different, whatever, but I'm guaranteed to find something. And it's like the thing that I find is going to kind of be dictated or more or less determined by which direction I go. I can go this way and find something that I might not have found if I had gone this way. You know what I'm saying? If I went to the left instead of the right. It's such a big area where it's no telling what I was going to find in either direction, honestly, but it's more likely that something here is not also something here. You know what I'm saying? Depending if I go far enough. But, my point is that freedom is, in any sense, very powerful, but then it's like, they say freedom isn't free. And I think one of the reasons they can say that and it can be true is because, like, freedom does come with, at the very least, an opportunity cost. And that opportunity cost is I just saw something, I don't know what that thing was, but that quote unquote fear made me slow down and see. But anyways, that opportunity cost is that thing that you decide to do. I'm sorry, the opportunity cost. Look, that time I was looking for the spider web and I walked right past it. But that opportunity cost is the cost of everything that you are not doing. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm gonna check that one out. And see, it's weird because, hold on. It's weird because just now my reaction was not fear, but more like I was trying to make myself prepared. I got a little like okay, I think that was just a bird because I just saw something up there. But when I heard that last one, it was so close, and so I perceived it as danger because I couldn't see, that instead of being like scared and just like looking, my hand immediately went for, the type of my first response to anything I might bump into, and that wasn't fear. I know, because fear would have had me doing nothing. Real fear is like it paralyzes you. It stops you. It makes you, the only thing you're doing is look. But at least for a second, then you go into the fight or flight. But maybe that has something to do with the closer definition that I'm looking for. It's more about that fight or that flight, because the fear, I would think it's just the flight part of that, but it's not, because when you're really scared, you're frozen with fear. Like, you're not in flight mode and you're not in fight mode. You're just in fright mode. You're just standing there. You're just like, oh my God, this is it, But there is a distinction there. And it might be subtle, but it does exist. And a difference in the process implies a difference in the results. So it's something going on there. But, I guess I just mentioned that to myself be aware, but also anybody who will take that with them also to like be aware of when you're having that fight or flight, you're responding to some danger, or when you're just responding to some perceived danger. You're in that fear, like you just think something is dangerous, like that thing that just flew right at me, versus actually something being dangerous, just walking, had another idea, inspiration, or whatever. It looks like we're about halfway back to where we came from. But maybe that thing we're calling fear is like just our analysis of a completely new and urgent situation. It's like us just trying to take a second and realize what we're dealing with, right? But when we're frozen in fear, when that fear actually stops us, it's just because we don't have a response to that thing that we're dealing with. Whether that be because it's still an unknown, as in, all right, we see what it is, but we don't have a label for it. We don't know what to call it. We don't know its characteristics. Or that could be because we still haven't identified what the thing is yet. I feel like those two might be the same, but again, it's a subtle difference there. But maybe it's just a matter of we think that fear ends there. We think that fear is a thing on its own, but maybe fear is just a part of a bigger mechanism, the mechanism of handling new things. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe in an instant where you're experiencing something new in an urgent manner, you do need a second to analyze and identify what it is, because you could be in danger or you could not be. Another thing, perspective is such an important detail, because from this position, well, maybe from like right here, it might look like, hold on, where'd the road go, But it's like through that perspective, whether that takes courage, bravery, whatever, through that perspective, a new position. I was standing over there, but now I'm standing over here. A new position gives a new perspective. And now I can see, oh, the road is right there. It's just different, All right, so real quick, family. I just hope that you enjoyed the exploration, and I just ask that if you feel the information in the video is kosher, that is genuine or legitimate, that you just give it a like, comment, subscribe, and or share the link for the video in an effort to present the information to someone else in hopes that they too can find something useful in it. All right. And for anybody that wants to keep up with me on any social media, I'll post my Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Instagram in the description. And as far as YouTube, when you subscribe, if you click the bell icon, YouTube will notify you whenever I post any new content. All right. So thanks again. I love you, and I'll see you when I see you.